Before you went into this project, did you exercise at all?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Did you
really.
even?
I used to do exercise, but not like after being told I've got heart failure.
Yeah.
So I started looking at my age as well, and I've got a spine, spine osteoarthritis. So those things together. I spoke to my professor, to my doctor, and she said, no, Anna, I'll send you to the dietitians. And then we met with Sandra. Today, Noeleen, I'm better. I can walk at least a few meters from my gate to the
taxi rank.
Yeah.
Then before you couldn't.
I couldn't before.
Yeah.
Because I was eating rough.
Yeah. Cynthia, you've been diagnosed with diabetes.
Yes.
When were you diagnosed with diabetes?
I think it was 2003.
Yeah.
I was at Lenasia South Hospital Hill. That's where I attended my clinic. My blood pressure was fluctuating, and it was high, low, high, low, high. They asked me about the family history. I told them my mother, sisters, and everybody is. Then they said I must come the following day. The following morning I went there. They said I mustn't eat. Then they gave me that glucose water, and then after an hour, and they checked me before. They checked the sugar. Then they give me the water, the glucose water, and then I drank it, and then after an hour, they came back, and it rose up to 18. Yes. So after that, I was under treatment. So I changed to Lenasia 5, Extension 5 Lenasia Clinic, because there's awkward transport that side. So I went to Lenasia Clinic. From there, I met the ladies from the vets,
Heart of Soweto Project.
Yes.
Yeah.
So those ladies, they recruited us from Lens. So we went to the hospital, to Baragwanath Hospital. So under their treatment, because now I didn't know myself, because I used to eat everything, magwinyas and all that, snookfish, and then from there I take lechal, I drink before I go to the clinic. After all, they explained everything to me. I saw that, no, man, I'm robbing myself by doing this. This is my life, so I must stop gambling about my life. I must just eat the right food, as they say.
But how difficult was it to move? So if you've been eating amagwinya, mhodu, you know, intloko, the whole works, all fatty, nice things, and then change to not that healthy food is not good. I mean, taste-wise, I'm sure Sandra's going to show us how to make it really tasty. But how difficult was it to make that change? For you, Catherine, was it difficult?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't, because I was sick. I wanted to be all right.
Yeah.
So I did understand everything, and then I did follow everything they say I must do it.
Yeah.
So it was very easy.
Yeah.
Because by that time I was killing myself.
Yeah.
I was killing myself a lot, because you eat KFC, you go to KFC, you go wherever you want to go.
Yeah.
You see, you eat everything.
With the skin on, and you've just got fat coming down your hands. Not good.
You slaughter this big chicken, it's got a lot of fat, and then you like that fat, you're eating a lot that fat.
With the dombolo. Yeah, but no more.
Even when it's winter like this, you'll go and eat muhodu, dombolo, stamp up, a lot.
Yeah.
But since I met Heart of Soweto, I eat, even my hand is too big.
So you eat very little. For you, Ma, was it difficult to make? Yeah.
It was a bit difficult, because, you know, it's not easy to break a habit.
A habit for many years, yeah.
But after some time, I went to the hospital. I couldn't speak. I couldn't do a thing. I just went there like that. I didn't have breath. So the doctor said to me, "You're cheating. You must be eating all these things we said you shouldn't eat. And you're drinking water too much. Stop drinking too much water."
Yeah.
You know, I was told, and they showed me the way to live. And then thereafter, I don't want to tell you a lie. Today, I've lost, I'm sure, about 4 kgs on my waistline. It was this big.
So it's definitely happening.
Marcus,
was it difficult for you to make that transition? And how more expensive is it to be eating healthier? Because a lot of people say, you know, to eat healthier is more expensive.
To break away from old style, it was about me and my life to sit down and decide to talk to myself that, oh, now it's enough. Now your sugar is fluctuating, it's going 15, 18, 15, 18. I said, no, man, let me try this way, the way they're telling us at the clinic. So I followed the instructions and then the cooking classes, everything. Oh, my dear, now I'm on 4 in the morning. After meals, it's 8.8. In the mornings, 4.7, 4.8. If it's high, it's about 5.9.
Yeah.
It's always there.
Yeah.
It's running
So
around
you can
there.
see the benefits.
The benefit, it's there's too much difference because I was at 15, 11, 12, 11. When it's low,
Then that's
it was
dangerous.
11.
Yeah.
But now, since I met those people and then now I take this injection, the albiglutide disposable pen. It's the injection that you take once a week. That injection with my tablets from the clinic, I'm excellent. I can run miles. You know, my age group,
Yeah.
you cannot run with me. And I'm over 60. Can you say that?
No.
Over 60, my dear.
Well
I'm now
done.
back to 30s now.
Hey, wena.
Back to 30s,
Hey,
my dear.
wena.
Only the food if you eat right food. That's all.
Okay.
If you eat wrong food, and then you think you'll take your tablets, that won't work.
It's not going to work.
No, it's not
okay.
gonna work.
Well,
It's
thank
not
you
gonna
so much, girls, ladies, for
And,
coming.
you know, Noeleen, there's one thing. It's not expensive to change your diet
Yes, so-
because these things are there.
Yes.
It's just to know the way how to cook
How
them.
to
Yeah.
cook them. You
So
just-
all this time we've been frying.
Yes.
You make stew. You put potato.
Yeah.
You cook potato salad one side, but there's potato in that pot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now
Double trouble.
Double trouble with mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Mayonnaise, yes.
All fatty
These things
things.
are there in the
All
house.
fatty
It's
things.
just to know how to cook.
Yeah.
I want to add on exercising. There's no need to go to a gym.
No.
You just walk to exercise. You walk down the street.
Yeah.
And then you come back, you go to the shops. Even when you look at the TV, you must move the remote next to you so that you must stand and press the TV.
Okay.
Yes, it's
So
a part
no
of
remote
exercise.
anymore.
No remote.
Yes.
Yeah.
No remote because remote you keep on changing like this.
Yeah, you sit there for
Sitting one
hours
place.
and hours.
Okay.
You won't
Yeah.
move.
All right. So it's getting to move.
Yeah.
Don't cook with you know, oils and butters and
Don't fry.
Don't fry.
You must steam.
Okay. All right. I'm
Even
gonna.
salt. Salt is a slow killer. People
Yeah.
don't know. You must reduce your salt.
Exactly.
Really.
Okay.
Because some people don't taste. They just put salt before eating. And it's a slow killer, really. I don't want to tell a lie. I've learned a lot in that heart clinic at Bara.
Can you ladies invite me to your houses to see exactly how you cook? Because it looks like, it seems like you cook very, very well. So I think you're going to invite me to your houses for lunch.
problem.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, junk food is usually everyone's favorite, but not necessarily the healthiest option. After the break, a dietitian gives us some guidelines about the types of foods that are bad for our bodies and why we should stay away from them. We all love our bunny chows, fat cooks, slap chips, braai vlees, cook sisters, malva pudding, acha, and death by chocolate cake. But do we really understand the damage these and others have on our health? To tell us more about this is Sandra Pretorius from the Wits University Research Thrust. Thank you so much for joining us. You know, I was saying during the break that we actually don't need you anymore because the ladies that were here know so much about the Heart of Soweto Project and can tell you everything about it. What is your involvement, Sandra?
I'm a dietitian, so my involvement was, first of all, is to determine the food choices of our patients that attend the heart failure clinic, and that's part of the Heart of Soweto Project.
Yeah.
Looking at what do they eat, cultural preferences, food preparation methods. So that was the first step.
What was the major finding in that first step?
What I found is that people's food choices, they would, out of a lack of knowledge, they would choose the wrong food. So instead of a healthier option, they would choose a refined food instead of an unrefined food. They would also consume processed foods, also consume cold drinks, take in very little fruits and vegetables. Those were the major findings.
And you think it's because people don't know that that vegetables and fruit is healthier than buying a 2-liter cool drink, which is full of sugar?
Yeah, I think there's still lack of knowledge. So people just need to be made aware of the benefits of consuming more fruits and vegetables, and the health benefits, and that it's you know, compared to drinking cold drink, that's something that's affordable and healthier.
So you spoke about the first step in your research. What is the second step?
The second step was then to develop a program to address this. So we started with the intervention program to address that, to develop healthy recipes, educational material, and then we also started with the educational classes that's structured in a way that we give education regarding the disease, the medical treatment, as well as then the lifestyle and dietary treatment, and then also to make it practical. You know, because usually or sometimes you educate someone, you can tell them something, but then they go home and they actually don't know how to implement this. They might leave and say, well, this is not going to taste nice, or I'm not going to be able to do this, and then there's just no compliance and follow
Did you find that a lot of your patients were thinking that because, and I think you alluded to that, because something is healthy, it won't taste nice? Because something is healthy, and there's also this, you know, this thing that healthier is more expensive. Did you find some of those?
Yes, I did. When I started with the cooking classes especially, then, you know, some of the comments would be, but if you now tell me to cook low fat and leave out salt and less sugar, then the food's not going to taste nice anymore. So then, you know, I'm just not interested. And then the other thing was because food has become expensive, and that was something that is a barrier that people were thinking is, I can't do this because it's expensive. And I think just by showing in a practical way, and by saying is if you leave these foods out and you rather buy that, then at the end of the day it's not more expensive. And also things that one can focus on is, if you look at fruits and vegetables, buy what's in season, buy in bulk, and you know, there's lots of ways that one can save money and still
be healthy. A little later on, we're going to talk about the healthy options that we have and how you can use them in your daily life. But you've brought 3 examples of unhealthy options. Talk us through that and what these possibly could do to our health.
Yeah, so usually there's a few basic dietary guidelines that's important. And the first one that we focus on that one should eat less of is obviously fat. One should eat less fat, especially saturated fat, which are the animal fats, so your animal products. Then also takeaway foods and processed foods. So what I've done is I've brought examples of high-fat processed foods. If one look at the first plate, a pie, which is processed, and then also crisp. So this plate of food is high in fat, and it's also very high in salt. So in that sense, it's bad. And also, we also nowadays talking about, I'm sure it's everyone must have heard about this, is trans fatty acids. That's very bad for you. So it's not only the total fat, it's specific fats that we're looking at, and something that's deep fried and some baked products is very high in trans fatty acids.
So a pie would be a no-no?
Yes, absolutely not.
Okay,
no.
Maybe once a year?
Maybe, yes, but
okay.
yeah, also not.
Okay, let's look at the second option.
The second option, this is also the reason I've got this here, it's refined. It's a refined starch that's on the plate. So one wants to stay away from refined starches, and then also...
But I always thought that pap was healthy.
It's a refined starch, like I say, with a very high GI, with a very high glycemic index. So, for instance, Cynthia that has diabetes, if she has pap like this, if she has this meal, her blood sugar levels are going to increase.
Okay, so what would be the alternative to having pap?
The alternative would be to choose an unrefined, a whole grain starch. So one can then either have brown rice, or you can rather have a high fiber porridge like mabella or maltabella. Or you can have potato with the skin. So it would be a starch that's unrefined, and that's whole grain, and that's high fiber.
So pap and acha No.
Yeah, because the acha, as one can clearly see as well, lots of fat and also very high in salt.
Okay, and the last one?
The last one, and I think Catherine's mentioned this, it's a
Deep fried chicken.
deep